One time I learned something that completely changed the way I see depression, and I need to share it with you because it might save your life. In Nazi concentration camps, some of the physically strongest men died first, and some of the physically weakest men survived. I know that sounds impossible, but when I dug into this, I found out the reason why. And it's the exact reason you might be feeling stuck, purposeless, or depressed right now. What I'm about to teach you today is why your depression might not be a medical problem, it might be an existential one. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the exact framework to shrug it off. Let's get into it. So I studied this psychiatrist named Viktor Frankl who survived Auschwitz. He lost his parents, brother, pregnant wife, he was tortured, starved, and stripped of his identity. And he was a prisoner, just another prisoner. Prisoner number 119,104. While he was barely surviving, he noticed something. The prisoners who survived weren't the ones who were physically strongest. They were the ones who had a reason to live, a purpose, a why. I'm talking about healthy-looking men who gave up within 48 hours, then weak, sick men who pushed through unbearable conditions and survived. The only difference? The survivors had something to live for, and this led me to a principle that I now live by. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. I repeat, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Make sense? The why is your purpose. The how is your circumstances. You will suffer in life, that's guaranteed. But the game-changing question isn't, how do I avoid suffering? The question is, what am I suffering for? Let me give you an example that made this click for me. Someone training for a marathon is in pain, but they're not miserable. Why? Because they have a why. They are training towards something that matters. Someone sitting on a couch, feeling the same muscle pain, completely miserable. Same sensation, completely different experiences. Meaning is the ultimate psychological painkiller. Back in those camps, there were prisoners ready to commit suicide, and they'll ask them one question: why don't you do it? One man said, I have a child waiting for me in another country. Another man said, I'm a scientist. I have books to finish that no one else can write. Both were starving and tortured, but they had a why bigger than their suffering. Now I know what you're thinking. That's great, but I'm not in a concentration camp. How does this apply to me? Well, here's what I realized about most depressions today. It is not a chemical balance. It is what I learned is called an existential vacuum, a meaning void. You might have everything you should need: food, shelter, safety, but you still feel empty. Bored, like life is pointless. You scroll endlessly. You binge watch shows. You distract yourself, but nothing fills the void. I'm telling you right now that is not a serotonin problem, that is a purpose problem. You just need to discover what you're here to do today. So there are 4 specific ways to find meaning, and I'm about to give you the exact action steps that changes lives. Ask yourself and answer these 4 questions. What would I regret not doing if I were on my deathbed? This is about work, projects, contributions, not just your job, but creating something valuable that didn't exist before. 2. What unique contribution can only I make? Your specific mix of skills and experience. 3. What suffering in the world angers me enough to fight it? Your purpose is often in what breaks your heart. 4. Who would suffer if I gave up? Write their names down, then do one thing that serves them. Call your mom, play with your kid. Write it down. Don't just think about it. Write it down. Your purpose might be staring you in the face. You and I will have Wi-Fi, food, and safety. We'll have things the people in the concentration camps never dreamt of. The only question that is left is, what is your why? Because I'm telling you right now, once you answer that question, the how becomes bearable. Now stop thinking about it and go create your meaning. If this hits you, join my school community where we are building purpose-driven lives together. The link will be in the description. Until next time.